everyone, Suzi here, and today we're playing Watcher of Realms. For today's video, we're going to take a look at this Hero Lab breakdown. Is Constance actually better than Dolores in some instances? Alright, so this one is really interesting. Oops, I forgot to turn on my light there. There we go. I don't know, I always assume Dolores is just better for inspiration, period. But they actually make a case where some spots Constance is better. Now, where are those spots? I guess that's what we're gonna take a look at. So I kind of wanted to share some more of these quirky things that they do with their social medias sometimes that don't always make it into the game. There's another one I was gonna share, but maybe that's another short video. I just think it's really interesting. And I kind of want to be that. I still want to be the content creator that's a little bit of everything. My niche is not to do extensive whatever things. I'm not only reading lore. I don't know. You know, I don't have a niche. I'm not like the guild war person or whatever. But I kind of like my niche being I cover a little bit of everything, including things that maybe other content creators don't think to cover. So that's kind of my hope here on my channel still. Sorry I didn't post for a couple of days. I was super busy. We've had Lily and no grandparents here to help babysit, so my time's been more limited. Plus I'm launching that other AFK Journey channel, which the music in my background right now is AFK Journey, but the music's so lovely I just decided to leave it. Alright. I love it. And if you guys are interested in that, go check out my most recent video. Or yeah, details are in my Discord, DM me, whatever, because I have links, I have fun stuff, and I'm really enjoying playing that game, and I have a whole new channel for it. But now back onto Watcher of Realms. Evaluation of the inspiration effects of the heroes like Constance. Strategy guide brought to you by War Cabinet member as Zoa? I don't know how to pronounce that. Nope. I did not look that up ahead of time to see how to pronounce that properly. I apologize. Alright, in this experiment, we will test the inspiration effects of the respected heroes Dolores and Constance. Each of them will provide buffs to Silas until the end of the battle, and we will compare which hero provides the highest overall benefit. So for the most part, we just assume Dolores has been better, right? But are there some cases where Constance is preferred? Alright, so the background. Currently, 7 heroes in the game provide inspiration effects, and 2 heroes chosen for comparison have extensive usefulness. Additionally, inspiration effects cannot be stacked. So they put the same kind of sets on Dolores and Constance. Now this might seem a little unfair because you're like, but Constance, they gave more attack. However, Constance has a much better base attack than Dolores. Dolores has a really low base attack and it's really hard to get her attack up high. So this is logical. So Dolores provides a 60% inspiration, like that's a boost, that's huge. And this one is a 45% for Constance. So, hero attributes, they did get 12,161 for Dolores, 14,268 for Constance, provided attack, almost 7,300 for Dolores, and 64 for Constance. Those say Guild Dragon 4. What the hell do they mean? Guild Dragon 4. Nightmare 4? Drake's Chasm? I think that's what they mean. They don't even know the names of their stuff. It's fine. So with no buff, the basic damage was 46,470 from Silas. With the buff, 589 for Dolores and 84,940 for Constance. Even though Constance had a higher like stat total, the percentage difference with their inspiration buff still showed Dolores to give more. And along with that, Dolores did provide a higher ultimate damage than Constance as well, and it looks like the total damage dealt at the end was actually pretty close. So you see 95.5, 96.9 from Constance. Oh wait, Constance was more for the total damage. Now, that doesn't seem like it makes sense because you're like, but Dolores is doing more basic attack and more ultimate. damage. So how is Constance more overall? So this is where they're gonna, I think, talk about consistency. So let's go ahead and swap that over here. So judging the increase in attack power from inspiration effects, Dolores, due to her awakening, provides an additional 20% boost, leading to a significantly higher overall attack increase. However, when it comes to the amplification effects on a single hero, the ranking is Constance over Dolores. This is mainly because Dolores' ultimate skill has an unstable rage regeneration mechanism, resulting in significant fluctuations in the upper and lower damage limits during each test. In contrast, Constance's passive healing rage regen mechanism effectively maintains the duration of the inspiration buff. Additionally, the difference in hero classes between Dolores and Constance result in variations in artifact selection, positioning, and usage scenarios. So, obviously Dolores is a healer that goes on a platform, and Constance is a tank defensive hero that goes on the ground, so there's a different usage right there. The artifacts would be... I feel like Dolores would have better artifacts, not worse though. Alright, so Constance artifact, the Astral Obelisk is great for her. Attack increases by 5% after receiving healing, increases rage regen by 50% for 5 seconds. So lots of rage regen, more consistency there when you add in the Astral Obelisk as well, and just more attack period. Plus, it's a legendary piece, lots of stats. I like it. Alright. So didn't they talk about her passive being the consistency? It is her ultimate that gives inspiration for 20 seconds. But she does have a talent that every time she's healed, she boosts rage, so she probably comes back to it quite easily, is what they mean. Although Dolores comes back to her ultimate very fast because of her boosting as well. Yeah, so Dolores cuts her skill cost down a lot more, so that's pretty good. So she comes back to it more frequently. The only problem with it is the rage boosting. So I guess more just steady basic that she's gonna constantly regen. Hero restores 3% rage. This can be triggered every one, blah, blah, blah. Okay. What about with awakenings? Is there anything else that affects that? No. So that's only her rage regen auto on Awaken 4. Okay. But what about... Alright, Dolores. This is where the inconsistency comes. So, this 80% chance to have her rage increased with her Awaken 5, that is where the inconsistency comes. And that's where people would see things like failing typically, right? People talk about having your runs fail early on when you're working on your guild boss or Drake's Chasm because she doesn't necessarily come back to her ultimate the same time consistently because she has only a whatever chance to have that happen. You know, like her you have her rage set. Okay, cool. Once she's Awakened 5, it's good, but it's only 50% before that, right? And even Awakened 5 is still 80%. It still can fail. It still cannot happen exactly when you expect it to happen. So it can really throw off your runs if she doesn't come back to her ultimate at the time you're expecting her to, when you pop everybody else right after her or alongside her. This just has a big RNG factor to it. So I think that's why they're saying Constance is just got a little bit more consistency sake. Even though it doesn't seem like it would be, I get the like long-term viability of that. So alright, so I think because they're saying Constance, it's not her passive, but because she's healing a lot in general, she's triggering her talent, which does consistent rage regen, versus an RNG of 50% or 80% happening. It is giving her 3% rage regen every time she boosts, instead of having a chance to do it every time she heals, sorry. I think that's just the consistency conversation. So what they say here is that Dolores is recommended for use in scenarios like Guild Guild Dragon. Drake's Chasm, and equipment raids, where there is minimal survival pressure. While Constance is more suitable for Gear Dungeon 1, 2, Titanic Ruins, Immortal Codex, and Void Rift scenarios. It's still weird to have it explained this way. I don't think the explanation is the best. I feel like that's why I'm like, wait, what are they even trying to say? The explanation is not the best because do you just mean that Dolores is squishier? Because she's all attack based, where Constance is going to heal more often, and that healing's going to help keep her alive. And she's also a defender, so she has better stats for survivability, and you're going to give her some more stats for survivability as well. Maybe. So this is just the consistency thing, right? This is all about that. So obviously maximum potential Dolores is better because it is a bigger, you know, boost, like they said. But when you have crap RNG and she misses the timings, that's when this 95 instead of 102 is gonna happen, right? For the Silas damage output example. So I think that's just where this is at, but I think they're right. Like you're still gonna go with the risk of it failing and not being consistent with Dolores in most cases. I don't know though, guys. I don't know that this is a great test or a great explanation. So what I mean is, are they even using Dolores at Awaken 5 with the 80%? Or are they using her not Awaken 5 so she only has 50% chance to have that Rage Regen boost to come back to her ultimate faster? We don't know. It doesn't say what Awakening either hero was at. So if they're using them at both Awaken 0, then yes, absolutely, Constance is going to be way more consistent. But if you're using Dolores at Awaken 5, the 80% chance to come back to that or have that rage boost is going to be consistent enough that you're still going to choose Dolores over Constance most cases. But I think there's more versatility in using Constance in some cases, like the examples they give of Gear Dungeons or Titanic Ruins, because she's gonna pair differently with the different heroes you're using. Like, if you're gonna have an amazing team with Ingrid and Lucius, Constance is a Watcher. If you're going to have a team with Praetus and Alistair, Constance is Arbiter, so she fits with some of the strongest teams you could ask for. Where Dolores, she's Infernal. You're gonna pair her with a Twin Fiend to give her more boost, right? Like, I think they just provide different benefits versus necessarily one being better than the other. But even with all of this, I don't think this really means that Constance is better than Dolores overall. I still don't see it that way because I don't think they were using Dolores at Awaken 5, which I don't think it's really fair to compare Constance and Dolores equally as Awaken 0 or Awaken 1 or only Awaken 3 or something like that, because it's a lot easier to get Dolores to Awaken 5 than it is to even get Constance Awaken 1, right? Technically. Because you pull way more epics and you get epic soulstones like crazy, so there's no reason that, I guess, anyone, I don't know. It depends on where you are for your account, but if you have Dolores Awaken 5, you're gonna use her over Constance in most scenarios. It just depends on who you're running them with. So, like, if you need someone who can also be a tank, Constance is also a tank. If you need someone that is not taking up a ground unit space, you're gonna choose Dolores. But Dolores is higher potential, so you might RNG to get that higher potential even though it's less consistent. And there's chances of it failing because it's only 80% instead of 100% to get that boost. but usually the risk of that failing still ends up outweighing in the long run, right? But yeah, interesting little test here. I don't know. So is Constance really better than Dolores? I don't think so. I think, like they say, use Dolores in certain scenarios, use Constance in others. It is what it is at the end of the day, and yeah, let me know what you think about this little test, guys. I don't know. It's interesting to read how they do these, but then sometimes there's not enough information to know if it's a test that we would consider equivalent or not, or fair or not, so yeah. That's all for today's video. I just wanted to take a deep look at this. I thought it was pretty interesting to see some of these posts and kind of have a talk about them. And I'm going to try to do similar in the future, depending on what it is. We'll see. We could talk about it. Let me know in the comments, though, if you like this sort of thing. And I will see you in the next video.